Hey y'all, hey y'all. It is Friday evening. It is Friday, 5 p.m. Um, it is the end of another week, y'all. It has definitely been, this week has been, whoo, up and down. It has definitely been some up and down moments this week. Um, I'm sure not just for me, but I'm sure for other people too. I'm happy that I am doing better. I'm appreciative to that. I'm appreciative to um, being in a much better space with everything and the situation that's happening and unfolding. I'm glad to be in a better space with it. Um, it's definitely something that it makes you take a look at the choices that you make. It makes you take a look at things that we do. It puts you in perspective. It puts things in perspective. Let me tell you, okay? It definitely puts things in perspectives, whether you think it do or not. It will cause you to think about your life choices. Um, and tonight, I felt like earlier this week we've talked about the art of letting go. Wednesday was a rough day. We talked about how safe are you? And so tonight I thought we would do a reality check tonight, because some of us, um we do things without realizing that the consequences of our actions affect a lot of people. It's not just a me thing, it's a we thing. When we do things that are dangerous, or we put ourselves in situations, we don't necessarily think about the consequence. We're just thinking about the fun that we want to have. We just thinking about the communication that we want to have. We're thinking about just being around other people. We don't always think about how what we do and what we say can affect other people. And that's what I want to talk to y'all about tonight, is that reality check that some of us need to check ourselves. Some of us literally and seriously need to check ourselves with some of the stuff we say. We need to check ourselves with some of the stuff we do, um, because that's important. It's really important that, you know, we talked about on Wednesday, letting people know where you are. Um, when things happen and we're just so busy looking forward to going to that party, or we looking forward to hanging out, or we looking forward to going to, whether it's weed party, they drinking, whatever, we just looking forward to having fun, letting our head down, kicking back with our shoes up, feet up, whatever, twerking in a circle, whatever it is. We're thinking about the fun that we're trying to have. We're not thinking about the consequence of, what if something should happen at this party? Does anybody know that I'm here? Does Hey, baby. Oh, hey, Anthony. Thank you. I love me some you too, boo. Oh, I love me some you. Is we have to think about those consequences, because it's it's not just you that's affected. It's about the people who are who are left behind when consequences occur. Your friends, your family, parents, cousins, kids. We don't think about the ripple effect that some of our actions have. When we're in places and we're in positions of not not being mindful of even the things we say to people, that sometimes you can cause ripples in relationships, and those might be the same people that you need. Some people say don't burn your bridges that you might have to cross back over. That's true. That's very true. Because those same people that you're not concerned with your actions or with your words, are the same people that when you get back to that bridge are going to be the same people you need to help you cross it. So sometimes we need to take that hard look at ourselves to realize, like, maybe there is something within me that I might need to change. Maybe I might need to look at how I talk to people. Maybe I need to look at how I treat people. Maybe I need to look at how I move. Because sometimes we be moving in a funky manner, and when somebody brings it to our attention, that attitude get real stank. It is what it is. But sometimes that is the hardest thing. Taking a look at yourself to see what it is that you may need to change, or looking at yourself to see that you are actually flawed and see where your flaws lie, can be one of the hardest things to do in life. I promise you it is. Because so oftentimes we're quick to see what this person is doing wrong. We so quick to say, well, their attitude nasty, or well, they don't know how to talk to people, but they don't know how to treat people. But we're not quick to look at our flaws. We're not quick to look at self the same way that we're quick to point out somebody else's mess or somebody else's flaws. Reality check. Check yourself. Check yourself. Because it might be you. It just might be you in that situation. Absolutely. Anthony says truth is so hard to hear. It is. It really is. Some people don't want to hear the truth. Some people don't want to hear that the way you moving is hurtful to people. The way you talking to people crazy and reckless, that's hurtful to people. When you take that look at yourself sometimes and you take that step back, and in that moment of quiet, baby, I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be some things that you may not want to hear, or some things you may not want to see. Hey, Bobby, how are you? You know, it's hearing the truth. Hey, Mom, she says, reality check, look in the mirror. Absolutely, because here's the thing. Not everybody wants to hear the truth. Not everybody can handle the truth. Hey, Jackie, hey. You know, not everybody can handle the truth. But guess what? It's not your job to protect somebody else from their truth. It's not your job all the time to point out somebody else's truth. That's another thing. It's not always your job to point out somebody else's truth. Sometimes you need to keep your mouth shut. Just a thought. Sometimes you might need to be quiet. You don't have to be the loudest one in the room. You don't have to have all the attention on you. It's not always about you. It's not. Because here's the thing. When we take the time to sit in that silence and sit in that quiet, baby, when I tell you silence can speak volumes, it can speak volumes. If we sit back, Anthony said, that's my problem. I always have something to say. Hey, Sam, how are you? You know, it's definitely something that we all have to do. It is self-reflection. It is harder to face your own truth. Because when you sit back and you look at, oh, well, I think this person is, well, they don't know how to talk to nobody. Well, they don't know how to talk to nobody either. Sometimes it might be you that don't know how to talk to somebody. Sometimes if you learn to shut your mouth and you sit back and look at yourself and you reevaluate and you replay situations in your mind and you replay conversations with people, you'll start to see that maybe it's just you. Maybe it's not everybody else. If 10,000 people in the room are saying the same thing, might necessarily be true. If you look at your relationships and you realize that out of everybody, you're the one that nobody answers the phone for. You're the one that nobody wants to talk to. You're the one that never gets invited nowhere. Baby, look in that mirror. It's you. It's not everybody else. It's you. Do your work. But here's the thing. Once you look in that mirror and you get that truth and you realize that maybe it's you, you have to get to a place of acceptance. Taking that self-reflection is a hard enough job in itself. But it's a first step. It's a first step. Because sometimes when we realize that we're in the wrong and it's us, you have to do your work. You have to do your work. Because sometimes we're so toxic because we are refusing to do our work, or we're even refusing to look at ourselves. That's how we damage relationships. That's how we damage relationships, because we're not willing to take accountability and we're not willing to accept our part or our role in the demise of a relationship or the demise of a friendship. Look at your role. It takes two. It takes two. It could have been something that you said. And oftentimes when we say things, we may not realize that in the tone in which we're using was a nasty tone, because guess what? We didn't have good intentions behind it, no way. We didn't have good intentions behind. Think about something you've said to someone. You could have simply told someone that the outfit may not fit them, and in a matter of it doesn't agree with them, their skin color, their skin tone, hair, whatever, that outfit may not be for them. Well, instead of being like, girl, you're too fat for that outfit, like, that ain't doing enough for you. Find constructive ways instead of speaking negatively. Find constructive ways to say that differently. Because sometimes it's not what we say, it's how we say it. And if you say things with ill intentions, it's going to come off and be shown that you have ill intentions based off the way you said it. So, Anthony says, I used to be scared of change, but over time I learned that it is necessary to grow, and that involves change. Absolutely. Hey, Vet. Vet says, I always say that it takes two. I truly agree with that. As adults, sometimes we have to learn that it's okay not to say everything that's on your mind and not to say the first thing that comes to mind. It's okay to keep your opinions to yourself, especially if it's not constructive. It ain't your business. It ain't your business. If you're not trying to help someone, why try to hurt them? Hurt people hurt people. When you're not willing to do your work and you're not willing to take the time to put in to repairing relationships that you had a part in the demise of, continue to realize that nobody wants to be bothered with you. Nobody wants to friend around. They always got something nasty to say, always got something negative to say. It don't matter if red ain't their color. If they like red, mind your business and shut up. You don't have to have an opinion about everything and everybody. You don't. Here's the thing. Here's something that I had to learn. I used to be a really sensitive person. And when people would say things to me, I would internalize it. I would hold on to it. I would internalize it. I would allow it to hurt my feelings. I would allow it to chip my self-esteem away. I would allow it to break me down, get me all down, sad, all that. But guess what? I had to learn that as I got older, if you're not contributing to my well-being, if you're not contributing to positive mental health, if you're not paying my bills, if you're not taking care of me, guess what? Your opinion means moot. In that order, it means moot. It could roll off my back like water off a duck's back. Okay? I don't have to feed into how you feel. Guess what? How somebody feels about you is not your business. Stop getting down. Stop being all upset and in your feelings and twisted and upside down because somebody don't like you. That ain't your business. That don't matter to you if they don't like you. That's something they have to work out. That's something about them, not you. Especially if you've never really had an interaction. Here's the thing. You can never really have an interaction with people, and people will still have an opinion about you. Trust me, I know. People will still have opinions about you and don't have to know you. So why concern yourself with it? Just why? You getting twisted over what? Because guess what? They got on about the business. Bobby says what people think about you isn't your business. Absolutely. It ain't your business. None. Anthony says options are as important as a June bug in July. Oh, opinions. Baby, look. Vet says, I don't hurt people. People try to hurt me, but they can't. I don't allow it. And you shouldn't. Here's the thing. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. Everybody is entitled to their own. It doesn't have to agree with yours. It doesn't have to align with yours. As long as you respect me at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You ain't got to like me, but you're going to respect me at the end of the day. I don't have to like you to respect you and to keep my distance and mind my business. What you doing, what you going through, what you say, how you feel, how you move ain't my business. I got enough of my own. I got enough business of my own to be mad at somebody else's. That goes back to self-reflection. It absolutely, Anthony says, is respect earned. Here's the thing. I feel that, and again, it's just my opinion, but I feel that as adults, you start at a certain respect level. And in starting with that respect level, here's the thing. You don't have to like somebody to respect them. You can respect a person enough to give them space. You can respect a person enough to mind your business. You can respect a person enough to not have an opinion on who they are, what they do, what they say, or anything else. Now, however, on the other side of that coin, that respect only goes so far. That respect only goes so far. Because guess what? Now, if you try me and you keep pushing me after I've given you real respect in your space, now if you keep pushing and keep trying me now, things can go a whole different way. And that respect level will drop. I'm just saying. That's just my personal opinion. Because in certain situations, when we realize who we are as a person, when we realize what our flaws are, can't nobody use your flaw against you to hurt you when you realize what your flaw is. I know I cried the drop of a dime. It is what it is. That's one of my flaws. But that's it. People can't hurt you with things that you recognize and realize about yourself, though. Okay, let me tell you something. I've been big a long time, okay? I have been a big girl for a long time. So somebody calling me fat, I'm like, okay, Ann, tell me something I don't know. Ann? Okay. What's your point? You ain't got one? Okay, then. Move along. People will try to use things to hurt you. But when you've done your self-reflection and you've done your work, it don't matter what people say. It don't matter. It doesn't matter how other people feel. Ain't important. It don't affect you. You able to walk on past like, okay. You don't have to interact with people that you've forgiven. Everybody ain't gonna accept your apology when you've done your work. And you have to be okay with that too. If you know for yourself that you have been that person if you know that you've been that person that was always that negative Nancy that always has something nasty to say, like, "Ooh, girl, like, like that don't look good on you. Well, I don't like that hairstyle. It make you look like a boy. Well, I don't like that." Then you need to accept the fact that it's gonna take some time for people to want to be around you. It's going to take time for people to see the self-reflection and the work that you have done on self. But understand that work does not happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to go from being the one that nobody invites to anything to being the one that everybody invites to everything the next day. That's just not realistic. It's not realistic. So let's put things into perspective. And let's be realistic about some things. Reality check. Let's be real about some things. It's going to take time because some people are not going to believe that you overnight, you just all of a sudden now you done went from negative nasty Nancy to positive Patty. Like, no, they're going to be skeptical. They're going to be skeptical at first. Who wouldn't? Especially when they've experienced you in a certain way. And in doing your work and in doing your self-reflection, don't discredit someone else's experience of you. Because who you think you are may not be the experience that somebody else has had of you. I'm just saying. Sometimes people get the representative, some people get the same person. Don't discredit how someone else has experienced you. Because how people experience you is how they feel. And you can't tell someone that they're wrong based off of how they experience you. If you've come at them and if you've come at a person and you rah all the time and you always got something to say and then you have to respect that that's the experience that somebody has of you. Now, if somebody else gets the peaceful, quiet side of you, then that's the experience that they get. But everybody's experience of you is not going to be the same, regardless of how you feel. So you can't discredit somebody else's experience. And it goes vice versa. You are entitled to how you feel about an experience that you've had with a person. Everybody is not going to be the same. Beth says, my only flaw is being too caring to people that really didn't deserve it. I feel the same way. Some of those people I wouldn't want to be around anyway. Anthony says, if you don't respect yourself, I can't respect you, my opinion. And that's understandable. Because when you respect yourself, you have certain boundaries that you put in place. You know the things in which you're going to tolerate, which things you're not going to tolerate. But also, when you respect yourself and you've done your work, you know what your flaws are. You know what your behavior is. You know what your characteristics are. So in saying that, once you've done your self-reflection, get to a place where you're able to catch yourself. When you start down that pathway of building self-esteem, building self-respect, building love, self-love. When you have ventured down that path to do the work on self, you're able to realize the experience that you're giving other people. You are able to. I don't know why people be calling me knowing I be doing my show. I digress. Um, but you are able to recognize the experience that you're giving other people, because when you do your work, you're able to realize, oh, yeah, I don't think I should say that. Let me find some other way to say this. Because you're more mindful of the things that you do and the things that you say in regards to other people, especially people that are important to you. Now, I'm not saying everybody, because some people you can't check your mouth for, because some people you just have to let have it, and some people you have to put in line, put in place. Okay. I'm just saying, you're more mindful of the people who are important to you and the people who are closest to you that you love. You are mindful of the experience that you are giving other people. You're mindful of that. So instead of saying, well, I don't like that dress on you. You fat. You don't like them roses. Don't do that. Them don't agree with you. It's different ways in which you can say things in a matter of, well, that particular pattern is not so flattering, that maybe there's something else that we can find in the closet, or let me pick an outfit for you and see what you like. See if you like it. Just try it and see if you like it. See, it's different ways to say stuff. It's different ways. Like, instead of telling somebody that, look, you look like a hot mess, you look like a clown with 5 pounds of makeup on, why don't you take that crap off your face? A different way to say that is, your natural beauty is enough. See how that can be taken 2 different ways? Telling somebody you look like a hot mess ass clown with 5 pounds of makeup on your face is hurtful. It's hurtful. And it can be received as being venomous, because it is, as opposed to telling someone simply that their natural beauty is enough. That's a compliment in itself, without saying the hurtful thing that you may be thinking in your mind. Sometimes as adults, we need to be mindful and put filters on the things that we say and the things that we think. Because unlike kids, there are consequences to some of the things that we say. Because if you walk up on the wrong person and you say some of the stuff that you're thinking out your mind and let it come straight out your mouth, you might find yourself waking up on the floor somewhere. So we need to use the filters as adults and be adults. Hey, Fee. Hello, darling. Anthony says, I have to tell myself, think about it, then speak about it. Absolutely. We have to do that. Hey, Nana. Hey, girl. Beth says, I am cool. I have self-respect. I am just not going to let people try to tear me down or control me how they want or feel I should be. Absolutely. Never. When you know who you are, you never allow someone else to tell you who you should be. Absolutely not. That's a no. Hey, Fee, my little sister, y'all. That's my Nana. Nana says, one must realize we live in a world of dog eat dog. Yes, we do. We absolutely do. Wednesday, I talked about how people are no longer concerned about your welfare or your well-being. We are in a digital age where everything is digital. Everything is microwaved, meaning microwave relationships, microwave friendships. Everything is microwaved. We don't take the time to get to know people. And because we don't have to see people face to face, and because everything is so quick at your fingertips, we don't feel like we have to do any work on ourselves. Because guess what? The person that you present, the representative that you're putting out there in these profiles and things like that, 9 times out of 10, you probably never see these people. So they don't need to know the fact that you are fabulously flawed. Your mouth is reckless. Like, you're just nasty to everybody you meet. They won't get to see that. So because other people don't get to see that, we feel that we don't need to self-reflect and we don't have nothing to work on. But guess what? Everybody is flawed. Just a little secret. Hey, Marjorie. Hey, sister. Like, when I say that, Everybody is flawed. None of us are perfect. Nobody's perfect. You show me somebody who's perfect, and I'll show you somebody who's flawed. Whether we're willing to acknowledge our own flaws, you have them. You still have them, whether you're willing to acknowledge them or not. Reality check. I'm just saying, we all have flaws. Some people have more flaws than others, but who cares? Absolutely, Anthony. We are all perfectly imperfect. Yes, we are. Honey, I am fabulously flawed. Okay? Fabulous with them flaws. Okay? Like, and that's how I feel. Like, if you feel you fabulously flawed, then baby, have at it. Walk in it. Walk in your truth. Whatever it may be, walk in it. I'll give you an example. Now, I know everybody's been talking about, and some of y'all may not know, Lil Nas X. I love him. He's creative. He's bold. He's willing to walk in his truth and live in his truth and be who he is, the way he wants to be, and doesn't care about other people's opinions, how they feel about him, how they see him. He's still him. He's still making hit music. He's still doing his thing because he doesn't care about other people's opinions of him. Because people still buying that music. Because I got my album. That says, I talk to people like they talk to me. I just give people utmost respect. So when they mistreat me, I don't feel all that sorry for things that happen. Because that is what you showed me. Only the ones that. Anthony says, my flaw is I'm not always aware of when I insult someone's intelligence. But you recognize that. That's the start. You recognize that. We don't always recognize or acknowledge what our flaws are. I had work to do because I know for me, I would say that when I would get upset or when I felt like people would hurt me, I just shove it down, keep shoving, keep shoving, keep shoving, keep shoving, keep shoving, keep shoving. But what happens is, as you keep shoving things down, eventually it's going to be compacted and you won't be able to shove down no more. And instead of shoving, now it's building. You're building that volcano. You're building, you're building, you're building. And now when it's to the top and now it explodes and that hot lava comes flying out your mouth, you're not concerned about who that lava hits. And that was one of my flaws, that I had to take a look at myself and realize that when I allow people to hurt me, I cannot spew venom at people who had nothing to do with it, people who did nothing to me. I can't do that. I had to do the work to be able to speak and put words to my hurt and acknowledge for myself that that person's words hurt my feelings, and be able to say, hey, look, the other day when we were talking, you said some things and it hurt my feelings. Now, however they take it, if they hit me with that, and what's your point? I know how to move accordingly. But if they respond with, I apologize, I didn't realize in that moment when I said it that it was hurtful, I move accordingly. When people respond to the things that you tell them, move accordingly. Move accordingly. Because sometimes in doing your work and doing that self-reflection, you lose people along the way. Because guess what? Some people are just here for you to be toxic. Some people are just hanging around you for you to show your ass. Some people are here for your ignorance. They here for it, honey. Oh, they are here for it. Honey, they live for it. Honey, they are like flies to poop. But when you get yourself together, You're not acting a fool. You're not talking to people crazy and reckless. When you're not so quick to jump at somebody, you ready to throw them hands. When instead of throwing them hands, you ready to talk it out. Oh, they don't be bothered with that. They don't be bothered with that because guess what? Now you ain't a good time. Now you're not a good time. Now you just, they not here for that. They not here for that self-reflection. They not here for that self-worth. They not here for that self-work. Those are the people that you need to allow to fall off. Because when you elevate yourself, sometimes you have to elevate the crowd that you're hanging around. Sometimes you have to elevate past the people that are in your circle. It is what it is. It is what it is. It doesn't necessarily mean that because you elevate that you have to drag them to the next level with you. Because guess what? You shouldn't be dragging nobody nowhere. If they're not willing to walk with you in that elevation, why are you being bothered to drag somebody someplace where they ain't trying to go? For what? For what? Beth says, I don't lash out on people that it's not my style. If I lose people around me, like it's just time to move around. All depends on who you are. Absolutely. And see, that's why I say not everybody has the same flaw. Some of us have different flaws. Some of us don't have filters. And when we see something, instead of taking the time to be like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. We just say whatever comes to mind. We just spew whatever out of our mouth that our brain is thinking. It could be nasty. It could be ill-intended. But that's the thing. Everybody's flaws are different. Some people's flaws is they don't know how to be constructive, give constructive criticism. It has to be a negative comment or a nasty comment instead of constructive criticism. Some of our flaws, somebody's flaw might be that you feel that you have to have an opinion about everybody and everything. That's a flaw. Some people have flaws where they feel they are perfect and they absolutely have nothing to work on because, baby, they are so good. We all have something to work on. We are all works in progress. Now, your work may not be today what your work was 6 months ago. What you have to work on today may not be what you had to work on last year. But we all have something to work on. And we need to acknowledge that and realize. Because some of us think our shit don't stink. Like, I'm just going to say it point blank, period. And it do. It do. Like, just acknowledge it. Acknowledge it to yourself. Admit it to yourself. Admitting things to yourself is harder than admitting things to other people. When you can admit to yourself that you're toxic, or you can admit to yourself that your attitude is not always right. Admit to yourself that you're not always right. You don't have to be always right. Again, we all have different flaws. Your flaw may not be my flaw. You may struggle with something that I don't struggle with. Or you may deal with something that I did my work to get over. We're not always on the same playing field when it comes to doing our work for self. We're not. You know, what you may have to work on might be physical. What somebody else may have to work on. But Anthony says, I'm not sure if being fact-based is a flaw or is it reasonable to seek, react, and truth. I would say, hey, it's my baby brother, y'all. Hey. Like, here's the thing. In your quest for being fact-based, here the question lies is, do you feel it is always your place to state the fact, even if it has nothing to do with you? That's the question. Now, there's nothing wrong with being fact-based. Absolutely not. But the question lies in, do you feel that you always have to be the one to insert fact, whether it's your business or not? That is the question. That is where the flaw comes in at. Because if you're a person that feels that you always have to be the one to say, oh, no, this ain't it. Well, that's not true. Well, this has to be this way, or this is this way, and that's not right. What you said ain't true, and what you said is false, or what you said, that's where the flaw lies. It's not the flaw is not being fact-based. The flaw lies in having to be the one to always state the fact, whether it's your place or not, or whether it's your business or not. Because oftentimes now don't get me wrong, because we've all eavesdropped a time or two. We've all done it. But when you feel the need to insert yourself in somebody else's conversation, or insert your opinion in every situation, that's a flaw. That's a flaw. Because we all have enough business that we can mind our own without somebody else's. If they didn't ask you a question, don't offer your opinion. Sometimes, like I said, we need to just shut up. Stop talking. Sometimes we need to listen instead of doing the talking. Because in listening, you can learn a lot. When I go places, I sit back and I observe. I sit back and I watch. I don't necessarily have to interact with everybody or anybody. I might go and just sit in the cut and watch. You observe a lot when you're quiet. You observe a lot when you're quiet. You see how people move. You see how they maneuver with different people. You see how they talk to certain people, or how they talk to people in general. Sometimes in that silence, well, I'm not even going to say sometimes, in that silence, you get clarity. Because when you're sitting back and you're observing, you realize that sometimes those sheep are really wolves in sheep clothing. How oftentimes have you had your quiet moments? How often are you being quiet? Absolutely. Bobby says it's okay to be quiet and observe. It is. How often are you being quiet? Are you the one that always has to talk? Are you the one that always have to offer an opinion? Are you the one that always has to be right? These are questions that you have to ask when you're self-reflecting. And be honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself, baby, there's nobody you're going to be honest with. Nobody. Okay? If you don't like you, ain't nobody else going to like you. Just know that. I'm just saying. If you don't like you, ain't nobody else going to like you. Don't expect them to. Please don't expect them to. Oh, I got this new tea, y'all, that I found. I don't know how good it is. I'm going to try it and see how good it is. But it's called, because y'all know I always have something in my cup. It's called Tazo Mixology. It's berry hibiscus margarita. Look at that. It's got strawberry, hibiscus, lime. And this is tea, y'all. This is tea. All you got to do is add water. This is tea. Like, yes. I said tonight, after this long week, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do wine tonight. We going to see what this tea is about. So I added some water to this glass. So we going to see what this tastes like. If it ain't good, I promise I'm going to tell y'all. Because, I don't be trying to put y'all on stuff that ain't all that good. So we going to see how it tastes real quick. Let's see. Okay. Okay. It's not bad. It's not my favorite. But it's okay. It's okay for a mocktail. It's pretty good for a mocktail. So this is what we can do. Okay. We can do this. Okay. Even being on a healthy journey, we can do this one. We can do this one. So again, that's that berry hibiscus margarita. It don't have no alcohol in it. So just in case you're wondering, there's no alcohol in it. Thank you, boo. Yvette says, I pay attention. I see the wolves at all times. Oh, you like them, boo? They change colors. They turn red. They go. But here's the thing. Hey, Donna. How you doing, sister? So listen. Take your self-inventory. Like when you're literally sitting sometimes, take time when you're at home by yourself if you can. Or, wait till everybody goes to sleep. But write down some self-reflecting questions. Like, what is the experience that other people get of me? What is it about me that attracts people to me? What is it about me that makes people not want to be around me? Ask yourself those hard questions. You have to ask yourself those questions that, and I don't mean like surface questions. I mean like really sit in that silence and just meditate, pray, do your deep breathing, whatever it is. You have to be in silence. Or you can play binaural sounds, whatever it is that's going to help you to meditate, to help you to be in that quiet, calm space, whatever it is, but no talking. Bobby says sometimes we just need to step back and think about what it is that we've done to have these situations happen to us. Absolutely, because people are reacting to our actions. And they are. And that's why in doing the self-reflection, when you've had arguments with people or you've had disagreements with people, then sometimes instead of being so quick to turn around, be like, what, but you said such and such, and I didn't appreciate that, and you this, and you that, and you. Sometimes, most oftentimes, we need to sit in silence first before we go to that other person, because you need to look at your behavior, what it was you said, and what it was that you may have done in that situation to have caused the reaction that you got. Think about it. Just really think about it. Like Bobby said, think about what it is you think about your role. What role did you play in the breakdown of the communication? What part did you play in the breakdown of the relationship? Did you communicate effectively? Were you verbally assaulted? Were you emotionally abusive? Were you verbally abusive? Because here's the thing, sometimes we think that we have the right to say whatever it is that we want to whomever it is, and you do not. You absolutely do not. Don't get me wrong, there is the freedom of speech, but you do not have the right to walk around spewing venom to people who have done nothing to you, have said nothing to you, have absolutely nothing to do with the reason why you pissed off, irritated, and mad. You don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to go around hurting other people, whether it's with your words, your actions. You don't have that right. So self-reflect. Fed says, I see things that I need to self-discipline in myself as well. People do things but don't want anyone to know about the truth. Bobby says, unfortunately, too many of us are too self-centered to see what we might have done wrong. Shaking my head. Absolutely. And that's why I say looking in the mirror is the hardest. It's the hardest first step. It's the hardest first step. But once you take that step to look at your role in whatever it was, to see what it is that you need to change about you. And please understand, there is something about you that you probably need to change. So if you wake up in the morning, you like, I'm good, I'm perfect, I ain't got nothing to change, I like me, I am the way I am, then don't be upset when people treat you a certain way because you feel as if you are not flawed, you are perfect, and you continue to treat people like trash and like garbage and expect them to put you on a pedestal and worship the ground you walk on. Don't be mad when nobody wants to be around you. But nobody wants to talk to you on the phone. Nobody wants to answer your phone calls. Nobody wants to invite you nowhere. Nobody wants to be bothered with you. Take your little perfect cell phone somewhere and be by yourself. Be by yourself if that's how you feel. This weekend, I hope that you all get an opportunity to be able to sit in that silence and do some self reflecting because silence can speak volumes. It really can. It really can. Brace yourself for the things you see. Because, baby, when somebody holds that mirror up and be like, hey, this is you. When you replay those situations in your mind and you replay those situations over and over again about what it was you said to somebody. Hey, Mike. Hey, honey bun. When we replay those instances over and over in our mind about things we've said to people, that's why so oftentimes when we lose people and hey mom, hey mom, so oftentimes when we lose people and we were that person that always had something nasty or negative to say, we become we become so distraught because we never had that opportunity to make it right. Tomorrow is not promised. The next hour is not promised to anybody. You can't make people do the work that they need to do on self. The only thing you can do is to do your own work on yourself. Don't do the work for anybody else. Don't change for anybody else because those type of changes are temporary. Those are temporary. When you change in what you do and how you talk and how you feel for other people, that's temporary. You're not doing it for the right reasons. Anything that you do, when you do your self reflection, do it for you. Do it because you want to be a better you, not because somebody else wants you to be a better you. Do it because you want to be a better person. Do it because you want to be a person that you like what you see and who you see in the mirror. Anthony says, should I ask those closest to me what they think my flaws are? No, absolutely not. Because here's why. My opinion only. I say no because people are always going to view you and people are always going to have an experience of you that is different from the next person. So one person might tell you talk too much. Another person might tell you is how you talk to people. Another person might tell you attitude nasty. Another person might tell you something different. You don't smile enough. Another person might tell you something different. That's why you have to self reflect. It's not about somebody else's opinion of you. Their opinions of you is not your business. Self reflection is for you in those quiet moments to sit quietly and think about relationships that you have, think about situations that you have been in, and in those moments, that is when you realize what your flaws are. Is it how you talk to people? Is it what you say to people? Is it the fact that you always talking? Don't ask other people what your flaws are. Self-reflect. Listen in the silence. Just sit and think back. Think back to situations you've had with not just one person, but with various people. If you keep seeing the situation, the same situation over and over and over and over and over again, it's you in that situation. Look at what you're doing in each one of those similar situations. What is it that you're doing? What is it that you're not doing? That's why I say looking in the mirror at yourself is one of the hardest things you will ever do in life. The hardest thing. Yvette says, if I let people try to control me, I'd have sex with all the females that approach me and want to do things to get that attention from me that they feel I would be with them. I get it all the time. Anijay says, it is a struggle. If you have not done for yourself, it takes time. I would say yes. It is good to ask your closest friends. My reason is you don't always see you like they do. The other reason is they are your if they are your closest, they say it in love. Okay. So that's why I said everybody has different opinions. That's my opinion that I wouldn't ask. My mom says ask your closest friends. It's up to you. Yvette says people tell me that I smile too much and always tell me I am too caring, that I shouldn't care. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Doesn't mean it has to be the same as yours. Doesn't mean it has to align with yours. And he just says, write down what they say. Take a look in the mirror at yourself. Okay. Let me ask you. This is a general question. How many people have actually, at some point in time, done self-reflection and realized in that moment that, yes, it was me, and realized that they had work that they had to do? Show of hands. How many people have done self-reflection and realized that in some moments it's you and not them? I know I have. Like, I know I absolutely have. Hey, Raina, my other sister. That says, right, you are correct. Raina says, like the great RuPaul says, that's Mother Ru, honey. Yes, come on, Mother Ru. Other people's opinions of me are none of my business. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, literally, how many, by a show of hands, realized that doing the self-reflection that you had work to do, and it had absolutely nothing to do with anybody else's opinion of you, anybody else's experience of you? It was you realizing that there's something about you that you needed to work on. I know I have. That ain't easy to do. It is absolutely not easy to do. You know, thank you, Anthony, for being honest. He said me. Like, hey, that's the thing. Like, it's okay to realize that you are fabulously flawed, honey. It's okay, because we all are. But it's an acknowledgement of your flaws that the work can begin. Can't begin unless you really acknowledge that there's something wrong. Anijay says, my mom says, that is everyone. Everyone has flaws. I always say I have both my feet holding my closest clothes. I don't need the concern of others. You know, like I've said before, we all got enough business that we don't need to mind nobody else's. We don't. Anthony said, I learned I was an angry person, and that's when I started seeing a counselor and therapist. Oh, your closet closed. Oh, okay. Vet says, that's why I do what I want to do. I don't change from being caring or me. I love that about me. And you should. And you should. Self-reflection is about getting you to a place where you're in a position to say that I love me, I like what I see in the mirror. It's about building your own self-love. It's about building your own self-esteem. It's about building your own self-respect. It's not about anybody else. And that's why I say, in doing the self-reflection and doing the work that it takes in acknowledging what your flaw is, it's not for anybody else. It's all about self. So you have to get to a place first where you acknowledge, hi, I'm Bree. I'm fabulously flawed. I have flaws. Like, Like Anthony says, we're all perfectly imperfect. What you have to work on may not be what I have to work on. And you know, oftentimes we hear people talk about the skeletons in the closet and things like that. Honey, when you expose your own skeletons, can't nobody hurt you with them skeletons in your closet. I'm just saying, my opinion. I think I might add a little juice to it. I think I might add a little juice. It's good, but I think I need to add a little juice to it. Yeah. And it's caffeine free. Who knew? I know, Mom. I know you were trying to say closet. Anthony says, I agree. Yvette says, you got that right. But you do. It's about self. Because when you're worried about what other people think and how other people experience you, because someone may think you toxic and some may not. And then you have some people that like toxic. Like, so, I mean, you know, it's up to you to do your self-reflection, do your work. You know, I will hope that this weekend, I hope that everybody gets a chance to be able to sit in that quiet and do some self-reflecting work. Get you a notebook if you have to. And in getting that notebook, write down the questions, write down those hard questions, you know, that you, in the self-reflecting moments that you have to ask yourself. Like, okay, why is it that I seem to keep arguing with people? Why is it that every time this happens, I react this way? Or why is it when I do this, this is what happens? Or why is it? Those are the type of things you need to look at. Are you quick to react without looking at the whole situation? Are you quick to judge without knowing people? That's a flaw. No, I'm just saying. Everybody's is different. Everybody's work is going to be different. Everybody's path is going to be different. And it's supposed to be. What is for you is not for anybody else. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. Beth says, and I am not two-faced. I don't do all that crap. I get it. You know, I tell people I don't do phony. I don't. I don't know how to do phony. If I don't deal with you, I don't deal with you. I'm not that person that if we are not friends, if we are not in a good place, I don't do phony. I'm not that person that's gonna be like, hey, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. What's going on with you? Because I know for me, I don't care. I don't do phony. And that's the problem. We're so many times that we're so quick to be people pleasers that even knowing that this may be somebody you absolutely can't stand, but honey, because you're trying to be messy, you need all the tea, you need all of it, hot, cold, you need all the tea served. Why? If you know you don't like that person and you know you don't deal with that person, why can't you just say hi and keep it moving? You don't have to sit there and have a whole conversation. And while you having the conversation, you just like, oh my God, I just, for what? For what? My mom says, when you point your finger at someone, there's always a finger pointing back at you. People don't know the whys of people or what they're going through. So to assume something about someone, I just keep me real. But sometimes, Anthony says, I truly needed this today. Oh, thank you, love. You know, I hope that, you know, first I want to say I thank you guys for Wednesday because it was definitely a rough day for me. I'm in a better place today. I'm definitely in a better place. And I just want to thank everybody for Wednesday for the love and the support that you guys offered, the love and support that you guys just poured out. It was so appreciated. It was definitely needed. It was definitely needed. But I thank you for allowing me to be comfortable enough to be transparent in that moment and to show and to display my vulnerability. Because I want people to understand that this is not for likes. This is not for numbers. This is not for entertainment purposes only. This is a platform that allows people to be vulnerable, allows people to be transparent, allow people to be in a space that is a judgment free zone. And I thank you all for allowing me to be transparent and being vulnerable and not feeling as if because I shed tears and because I'm a real person that hurts, that I feel judged for that. And I just want to thank you guys so much for that because I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys. You guys will always be my shimmers. Yes, honey, my shimmers. Yes. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you all that has reached out, text, phone call, whatever. I appreciate you guys so much. It is absolutely appreciated. Like, man, y'all just don't know. Beth says, I don't do phony either. And that is why people have problems with me because I don't compete or click. That's true. Some people just, like to be by themselves, and that's fine too. Thanks, Mom. She says, thank you for your support to my daughter. Thank you, Mom. Anthony says, I definitely feel you provide a safe space to be honest and open. Thank you. I try because I want people to understand that it is my hope that with each episode that we do on Clack and Shimmy, that we're able to help, even if it's just one person per episode, that we're able to help people to work through some of the things that they may be dealing with, or they may feel that they're the only ones going through it, or they may feel that they're in a situation that they're embarrassed to share. There is nothing that there's nothing that is too trivial. Whatever it is that anybody might be going through, know that there is light at the end of that tunnel. Know that there is help. Know that there are people that are willing to help. There are people that are willing to listen. And I try to make sure that I create a space in which we are able to discuss whatever it is that anyone might be going through, whether it's a taboo topic, or whether it's a topic that may seem off the wall. But whatever it is, Clack and Shimmy is here. Our number is on the Facebook page. And if you need to leave a voicemail, if you need to call, that number is there. But know that I love each and every one of you. And I hope that in creating this platform, because I'm definitely a mental health advocate, it is my goal to break the stigma of people going to seek help, people admitting that they're not okay and that they need help and seeking that help. I would hope that it is my hope that in everything that I do, that you realize that it's okay to not be okay, and to have those moments. And if you need help, reach out. Go seek counseling. Go seek help. Because sometimes when we're doing this self-reflection, sometimes that truth that is revealed to you, baby, sometimes you need a counselor or a therapist to work through the mess that you have been stewing in, or the mess that you have been packing down. Sometimes we need help in discerning through that. And there's nothing wrong in needing help or seeking help, or speaking out loud that you need help. So I hope that somebody can be helped in any one of these episodes to know that help is there. Help is there. You don't have to go through whatever it is that you are going through alone. You don't, because we all go through something. But there's always a rainbow after the rain. is always darkest before the dawn. If you've never seen a sunrise, when I tell you the darkest part of the night is before that sun peaks on that horizon, but yet the sun, every single day, it still rises. So know that every day that you are here, you have a purpose. There is a plan for your life. There are going to be days that you struggle. It's going to be days that you're not okay. But guess what? The sun is going to shine the next day. It's okay to have those days when you're down, but you don't have to stay in it and you don't have to wallow in it. If you need help, please reach out. Say that you need help. Speak it. Put words to it. And know that there's someone out there that loves you. I tell you all after each episode that you all are loved. You matter. You're important. And that I love you. And that there's nothing that you can do about it. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. So know that even on the days that you don't feel it, on the days that you feel that nobody loves you, somebody does. And I hope that, and I thank you guys, for the likes, the shares, the subscriptions. If you know that there's somebody that may need to hear this, share it with them. If you're looking for a way to tell somebody that it's okay not to be okay, share it. Share it. Because we all need somebody. We all need somebody. And that's okay. And it's okay. My mom said, whoever said they went for counseling, thank you for being honest and saying it is okay to seek help when you need it. Thank you, Bobby. I love you guys too. Aw, thank you. I love you guys. My mom says everyone love on someone. I love you all. Absolutely. I hope that you guys know how much you guys mean to me each and every week. And I thank you for you all's transparency. And I thank you for you all's honesty. And I thank you for rocking with me because guess what? It's Friday evening. Y'all could be anywhere. But guess what? Y'all here with me. And I appreciate that. And I love y'all for it. Come on now. I love y'all for that. And I thank you. Anthony says, thank you, Breeze Mom. I appreciate the encouragement and support. Absolutely. Look, let me tell you something. I go to therapy. Okay. Look, in complete transparency, baby, I go to therapy. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Because sometimes you need a neutral party to talk to work through things, as opposed to your friends who sometimes are not there to help you. Well, I'll say friends. Sometimes they're not there to help you. Sometimes they just want to know your business so they can spread it. Be careful who you tell your business to. See people for who they are. Accept them for who they are and move accordingly. Take some time to be in your silence. Thank you for that, Yvette. Yvette says, I've been to therapy as well. Thank you for that. Thank you for your honesty and your transparency as well as yours, Anthony. I thank you guys for that. Take some time for yourself this weekend. Take a moment. Take a few hours. Hell, take a day. But take some time for self. My mom says 9 out of 10, they can't help you. And they can't. And can't. Take some time for yourself. Take your bubble bath, get you some tea, hell, get you some wine, get you whatever you drink. Relax. Just be in silence. No talking. You you have you some soft music playing, but just take some time out to love on you. Take some of that love that you pour out to other people and just slather yourself with some of that love. You got to love you before you can love somebody else. You got to pour into you before you can pour into anybody else. Okay? You can't keep pouring from an empty cup. I don't know who needs to hear that, but somebody need to hear that. You can't keep pouring from an empty cup. Take some time to fill up your own cup this weekend. Love on you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. You guys are loved. You are important. You are beautiful. You matter. And in case nobody told you today, I love you. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. I will see you guys Monday evening. Mom says loving you is a process of itself. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, again, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I thank you for just being here, and I will see you guys Monday evening at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, the last week of September, we are doing Networking Week. So if we will be that particular week, we will have shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We will have a show every day the last week of September because we will be doing Networking Week. So if you have a business, if you have a brand, please inbox me so we can get you scheduled for the week. And I definitely, Vet says, you got to help yourself. I love me and others and support her and others as well. Thanks, Vet. So again, I thank you guys. And if you have businesses, if you have brands, inbox me, please. So that way we can get you guys scheduled for the last week of Networking Week. So we can get this, sit out. We can all sit at the table. Okay. I love you guys. And I will see you guys Monday at 5 p.m. See you guys.